Hey everyone, and welcome to Sasquatch Theory. In this video, we have Charles, Billy, and Mike from Understanding Bigfoot, and they wanted to talk about their Bigfoot encounters and experiences that happened in southern Missouri. Adam from the Half-Inch Wrench crew and the rest of the group and myself continue the research on Adam's property in southern Missouri. Throughout the night, we continued hearing strange vocalizations taking place upriver. We also explored the Mark Twain National Forest, and whenever we investigated the area, there were trees that were falling down and there was zero wind and no explanation as to why they fell. Throughout the years, people have reported seeing a creature with red eyes in southern Missouri, and I speculate it could be Bigfoot or possibly some other type of cryptid. What would you do if you encountered an unknown creature with glowing red eyes that kept showing up to your property? There are many unsolved mysteries occurring on this planet, and I hope by investigating Missouri, I am able to provide some type of evidence for the people. Luckily for me, my audio recorders were able to capture some of the strange things that took place during the investigation, and I will play them at the end of this video if you guys are interested in hearing them. If you enjoy watching Sasquatch Theory, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, and if you have a Bigfoot or cryptid encounter that you would like to share with me on the show, please contact me at sasquatchtheory@outlook.com. Okay, Charles?
Yes.
All right, so tell me about your encounter. Where were you at? What were you doing? And what happened?
We was outside of Marble Hill, Missouri, back in 78, 79. This thing went on for a couple of years. We really didn't know what it was at the time, but it had red eyes. And we would shoot at it with guns, shotguns, 22s. And finally, after about a year of this thing coming back every year, we finally shot an eye out. And they were blood red eyes and bright in the nighttime, illuminated by their own selves. And this thing would mimic car tires going down the road. It could mimic my brother's wife talking. It could mimic dogs. It could mimic anything. And it was fast. They had a big field between two houses. It would make a big noise up at one house. We'd go up there to find out what it is. And then it would hightail it through the woods and get to the other house and make the same noises. So it had us running back and forth, you know.
What exactly did you see whenever you shot it? Could you see the silhouette?
You couldn't see the silhouette.
You just saw the red eyes?
Just the red eyes and the limbs breaking.
Yeah.
It would break trees.
Okay.
Throw things, all kinds of crazy stuff.
How high off the ground were the eyes?
8, 9 foot.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. And there was no lights in the background that caused the eyes to light up? They were self-illuminated?
It was like the halogen brake lights nowadays.
Okay.
They were just self-illuminating.
Yeah.
It was, you know, at 17, 18 years old, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of feeling did you get whenever you saw the eyes? Were you terrified?
We stayed our distance.
Mm-hmm. How far off from you was the eye shine?
Maybe 75, 80 foot. If we get that close.
Yeah.
Close enough that you didn't want to get no closer.
Yeah. How many times did you see it?
We've seen it for several years, several falls.
Okay. Like it happened in the fall time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was moving through.
Yeah. And what? I don't know if you want to say it on camera, but what county was it in Missouri?
Bullinger.
Okay.
But haven't heard anything else out there.
Did you hear any neighbors say the same thing, that they saw red eyes? Any friends?
Well, back then, if you mentioned anything about Bigfoot, they would just assume that you was crazy. So, no, if somebody else was having problems, they sure didn't talk about it. Old Tom, can't think of his last name,
Oh, that's fine.
but he had a hog. He raised hogs, and this thing, he was a Vietnam vet. It picked up his hog, and he seen it take off and run with it, and he went in the woods after it. He never could catch up with it, but he didn't want to lose a 300-pound hog. He said it got it and just walked right over the fence. No problems. Just left. And he would lose like a hog a year to this thing.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
So what else have you experienced?
You would think the dogs would go down, the dogs would go in the woods after this thing, and you would believe that it was just beating the dogs for everything it's worth. But they would come back and not a mark. Just scared to death. And this is a German Shepherd and a little black dog that was meaner than heck. But that's about it, really.
Yeah. Well,
Until we shot its one eye out, you know.
What happened whenever you shot the creature?
It would just stand there. If it closed its eyes, you couldn't tell where it was. That's how dark and how it was.
Yeah.
You know?
Did one eye go out whenever
Yeah.
you shot it? Okay.
Yep. I mean, we're talking several rounds over a couple years.
So it kept coming back even after you shot it?
Yeah. And they come back with one eye.
Really? Oh, so the next time you saw it, it only had one eye shining?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's creepy.
So we knew it was the same Bigfoot now that we know what everybody knows nowadays. But yeah. So you knew it was the same Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Did it have brothers or sisters, if you want to call them that? I don't know.
So there were multiple creatures?
Could have been.
Yeah.
But one was persistent to mess with you all the time.
Yeah.
My sister seen it walk across the field back in.
Mm-hmm.
She was babysitting and seen it walk across the field. And she said it was big. And it was black and hairy. But she just said she wasn't going outside.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing that we had been shooting at for a couple of years. We tried to kill it. But you just could not kill it. You ain't going to kill it with a shotgun.
Did you hear any sounds whenever you shot it? Did it
No.
just stand there?
It would just stand there. If it closed its eyes, you lost it. Then it would just show up in another position. It could walk away from you and you couldn't even hear it. Because I guess the pads on its feet, I don't know. But it was quick.
Yeah. So you were just a teenager whenever this took
Yeah.
place?
And then I joined the Army and then there was no more of it. It just kind of went away.
Yeah. So this is probably something that you've thought about over and over your whole life.
Oh yeah. You always want to see another one. Or at least see the red eyes.
Yeah. And how did you meet Adam?
Through Billy.
Through Billy. Okay. And
Yep.
you met me through the channel, correct? Or you knew who I was through the channel?
Yeah,
But-
I've seen your channel
Yeah.
before I ever met Adam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I followed you before I ever
Yeah.
met Adam.
And then you heard him, you watched his episode, right?
Yeah, I've watched some of his stuff.
Where he talks about the red eyes?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they are very bright.
I've never seen the red eyes.
Wait till you do.
Yeah. I always think about it.
They're to me, from what I can remember, they was as bright as an LED light,
Really. Like
being in the dark.
those reflectors, those red reflectors?
Yeah.
Like that?
Now there wasn't no light reflecting from it.
Mm-hmm.
It never shined up the ground or nothing silly like that. It was just red eyes.
Yeah.
Never could understand that.
Sounds like to me it'd be like what you see on Hollywood or something where you just see the eyes glow, you know?
Yeah.
Like some of the horror flicks and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So you think it was Bigfoot for sure? I mean, they were taking hogs,
Yeah.
So that sounds like Bigfoot activity. But
That.
then you hear other people talk about like Dogman and other strange
right.
cryptids out there. I mean, even Mothman, like they're reported to have like red eyes.
Red eyes. Yep.
So, and you know, people see demons, things like that. They've had red eyes.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder.
It does. A long ways off. They's about the size of a 50-cent piece.
Yeah.
You know, maybe an old
Like a
Kennedy
$half
dollar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
But you don't forget it.
Mhm.
But now I want to see it again.
Yeah.
If it, I mean,
Yeah.
I
Be
don't
careful
want to
what you ask for, man.
I really do want to see another one.
Yeah. What else have you experienced other than the red eyes? Whenever this was occurring, did you hear anything like wood knocks, screams?
Screams. It could mimic people talking.
Mm-hmm.
It could mimic tires going down the highway.
And now describe that, like the tires going down the highway. Did you
You
hear
know how
like,
they'll whine from a distance?
Mm-hmm.
You'll hear a truck just wah, 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 wah. It would make that noise.
Mm-hmm.
And it would sound, because the school was like a mile from us.
Yeah.
And the highway was down in front of the school, so it would just whine like a big mud grip tire.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s.
So there was a school close by.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We was like a mile and a half from the school.
Yeah, where I had
on
my
the backside.
encounters, there was a school about a mile off.
Yeah.
Always wondering, maybe they're like watching the kids playing, or like whenever the band's out there
Yeah, 'cause
playing
you don't
music,
know.
maybe it piques their interest.
It could.
Yeah. But you never know.
Yeah, there's a lot of animals get curious. Like I know guys that said they've been out cutting logs and stuff, logging, and the chainsaws would attract the deer, and the deer would come up.
Mhm.
And
Oh, yeah.
Curious watch. So
Yeah.
why wouldn't they be curious? You know.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Was there a major waterway near the area, like a creek or a river, lake?
There was a well in the back of the yard. It would pump out at night,
Yeah.
like we was playing hide and seek.
What do you think the creature wanted?
Be left alone.
Well, I mean, like, what do you think it was doing with you? Like, just observing you?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it meant no harm. I mean, if it did, I wouldn't be sitting here. Because he could have killed me. I wouldn't have seen it walk up.
Yeah. So you never seen any aggression from the creature?
No.
Yeah.
Except throwing rocks and breaking trees and throwing limbs.
Mm-hmm.
That was its only retaliation that it had.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody shooting at you, you have to be pretty big to stand there and take bug shot and not say nothing.
Right.
You know?
It makes you wonder if there's like another element to it, because I've heard of people shooting these things and they just stand there,
Mhm.
like it didn't even faze them.
It don't phase them.
Yeah. That makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Did you ever go back to look for blood or anything?
Oh yeah, we did every morning.
Yeah.
Every time we'd have it out with it, do all that shooting, we never did see no blood.
Yeah.
We could find limbs that it had broken off, 2, 3, 4 inches around, but no blood.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Ever. Yeah. Unless it just stayed in the fur. I mean,
It's possible. You said it was a 22 caliber?
22 shotguns, no high-powered rifles or nothing like that.
Okay. So what size shotgun?
12,
12 gauge? Okay.
12s and 20s.
Yeah. And what'd you have in the shotgun, like bird shot or?
Number 8s, number 3s.
Okay. Is that like turkey?
Yeah, no
turkey shot?
turkey loads.
Okay.
None of us is big enough back in to shoot a turkey load, you know.
Okay, yeah. Well,
But
that's probably what it was. I mean, maybe because it was a smaller caliber shotgun, maybe you didn't find any blood.
right, it would blow limbs out of the trees, but it would never draw blood on this thing.
Yeah. How big were the rocks that it threw?
It'd be not that big.
Yeah. Okay. So pretty good sized rocks.
Yeah,
Okay.
some about as big as your head.
They
It could
were
chuck
pretty
'em.
good size. How far did they throw them?
I don't know, because you never knew where it come from,
Okay.
you know.
And at
So-
that time, what'd you think it was exactly?
We didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, nobody knew anything about Bigfoot back then except, what was it, Boggy Creek down in Arkansas?
Yeah. like
Yeah.
that and the Roger Patterson,
Mm-hmm.
the Bob Gimlin film.
Never heard of those back, them people back then.
Mm-hmm.
Boggy Creek was the only thing that played at the movies back
Yeah.
then.
What did you think about that? It was just a scary movie.
Yeah. We was living real life with it.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I was concerned, that was just a movie.
Yeah. At what point did you realize that the activity that you experienced with Sasquatch, was it just several years ago, or?
Oh no, we knew it was something,
Mm-hmm.
and then after watching Boggy Creek and then listening to people that did want to talk, we figured out that it was Bigfoot, but nobody would come out, because they didn't want to be associated with you,
Right.
Yeah.
Which
is all right by me. I didn't like people anyhow.
Right. Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, I definitely believe you. I mean, I've taken enough reports where people have mentioned the red eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the red eye reports are in southern Missouri.
Yeah.
So, makes me wonder.
If I was lying, you could pick that up fairly easy,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not a good liar. But we actually lived it.
Yeah. No, I believe you.
Yeah.
For sure. I've seen these things, and it'll change you. That's for sure. It's something that you always think about. And like you said, you want to see another one. That's how I am. It's just like
I do
want
to see
it
another
again.
one.
It just confirms it over and over.
Yeah.
What happened last time you was there?
Whatever that was down in the woods here. Went chucking through the woods. Went across the river or creek?
The
River. And then it made, never heard the noises it made that night before.
What did it do? What kind of noise did it make, Adam?
We were standing there. We were standing by the fire. And nothing had happened. I didn't have camera or nothing. At this point, we were just hanging out at the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I about run Charles over because something didn't run to us. It was right there the whole time, just took off, barreling down towards some rocks, down towards the river. And it made a lot of ruckus.
Yeah.
And I about run Charles over, about knocked him in the fire. He's trying to get out of the chair, and I'm trying to put him back in the chair. We was both leaving.
Yeah.
When he took off, I took off.
Really?
We was like, we was trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
And then it got down there, and we heard some huffing noises, and then off in the distance you could hear some deer blowing. So whatever it was got them all riled up too. And ever since then, he's like, "We're going to Adams? Yeah, let's go. I want to do that again."
I really do want to see another one.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't seen one, I've seen the eyes, and that's just as good to me as seeing one.
Right.
But I do want to see another one.
What did we hear before we started recording? Did you hear that?
That low moan.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
I don't either.
I heard it twice.
You heard it twice?
Yeah, but it sounded like it was over here. I thought, oh, the dog's on the roof or something.
Yeah. I thought it come from behind me, is what I thought.
Yeah. I don't know what it was. When I went to get that piece of equipment, I went down and I looked around there. I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
I was thinking I was going to see one of the dogs or something, like underneath there or something.
Yeah, as soon as I heard it, you looked over at me and I was like, "Is that a growl?"
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird.
It was an airish growl, like it had a lot of wind behind it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they got done, it was still blowing out wind just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's terrifying. So, is there anything else that you want to talk about? Have you seen any UFOs, any aliens?
No.
Paranormal, any ghosts, shadow people? You ever see a shadow person?
I always see ghosts. I think I'm a medium or not a medium.
Really?
About my house.
I always see things.
What kind of things? Like, what's one of the biggest paranormal encounters that you can think of? Like, what's something that's really stuck with you?
I had a buddy in Germany. Him and his girlfriend was going to move into a house.
Mm-hmm.
And they was going to share the house with an old lady. She was German. And I asked him, I said, "Who's the old man up on the banister, up on the, what would you call that? Not a banister. Where you go up to your second floor balcony?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Who's the old man up there in the white shirt and bib overalls?" And then she looked at me and she goes, "That's my husband." but he's been dead for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So.
That's terrifying.
I seen him.
Like, was it a full body apparition?
Yeah, it was a full body.
Okay.
Yep. He was just standing there looking.
Yeah, that's terrifying. It makes me wonder, like, people that I've actually seen in real life, could it possibly have been a ghost?
Has to be something.
Yeah.
It has to be something.
Yeah.
I've heard all kinds of things. Things that you shouldn't really hear. But
what kind of things?
Just talking, murmuring.
Like two people chattering back and forth.
Yeah. Things being dropped that shouldn't move because there's no reason for it to. You know.
Did a lot of this happen where you seen the red eyes, like on that property? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
you could, like, my sister-in-law went to the hospital, had the baby, and like I said, we was kids back then. We was laying on the floor, and you hear people walking over you, and we're the only ones there. Nobody's up, but they wouldn't step on you. Why that is, I don't know. But
yeah,
I think one goes along with the other.
I think so. I mean, whether it has something to do with like portals, dimensions, or you're just sensitive to this type of activity, and maybe the cryptids can sense that, and maybe that's why you can see certain things that other people can't.
I really do wish somebody else had it.
Yeah.
Because people think you're crazy when you tell them this stuff.
Yeah, they just don't understand.
Yeah.
Well, you're at the right place.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So where did this encounter take place? What were you doing that day? Kind of put me in your shoes.
So which one you want me to tell about?
Whichever one. Both of them, preferably.
Let's start back with the first one, which would have been 2008. I was driving semi. I was pulling sawdust from a sawmill out at Wayne County. We'd pulled up there to load sawdust. It was about dusky dark, just you could barely see across the field, and it was probably 3/4 of a mile across this field away from the woods, either direction around the sawmill. We'd pulled in there, and my buddy was in another truck. I was going to load him, and then he's going to load me. Well, I pulled up the loading ramp first, and I got out, and I'd walked over to start the loader up, and I got in the loader and grabbed the door to shut it, and I heard a scream that sounded like it was right on top of us, coming from the woods across the field. It started out like a real gurgly growl sound, kind of like that, but it's really loud, and then it went to like a almost, I don't want to say it was like a air raid horn. It was a lot higher pitched.
Like a siren?
Yeah, and it lasted probably 35-40 seconds, but it sounded like it was right on top of us. And I looked at that buddy of mine, and I was like, looked at him, I said, what the heck was that? He's like, I don't know. He said, but let's get this sawdust loaded and get out of here. So that's the only scream we heard there. We got loaded and left. And then, prior to that, I did have something happen. We was at the train bridge outside Marble Hill. Me and a friend of mine would walk down the old railroad bridge down there, and the trestle was gone, but the creek is like probably 100 yards across, right there where the creek bends, and there's another creek comes in. We was catfishing at night, and it was like 12 o'clock at night. And we set our limb lines out, and we went back over the levee, and we had a fire built, and we was sitting around the fire just letting the lines soak out in the water. And I kept hearing splashing out in the water. And I'm like, I looked at Kevin, and I was like, what in the world is that? He said, I don't know. So I got up, I walked up on top of the levee where I could see out across the creek and started shooting a lock, and there was chunks of rock like that coming from the other side of that creek and hitting almost the opposite side bank. What it was, I don't know, but I know there ain't no human gonna throw a rock like that far.
Yeah.
And then here a couple of months ago, we was coming home from work. It was, I don't know, 1:30 in the morning. right at 2 o'clock. We was coming across 34. We'd come up gravel hill, and right there at the county line into Bollinger County, we started off the hill, and the road curves to the left and goes up in county lines right there. There's no houses right there. But right where the headlights would fade off into the darkness, there was something upright, black. It crossed the road, and it was super quick. Yeah. And I looked at the guy I was riding with, and he looked at me and said, "Did you see that?" I was like, "Yeah, I seen that." He goes, "What was that, a bear?" I was like, "No, I don't think that was a bear, because a bear don't run that fast." I said, "And besides, the bear don't run when they're upright anyways."
Yeah.
He goes, "Maybe it was a dog or something like that." And the next day he picked me up, and he goes, I thought about that last night." He said, "You're right." He said, "There ain't no dog or bear or nothing like that's gonna stand that tall." Because I think maybe 8 foot tall, but it was jet black.
So you saw this big giant black
shadow.
shadow.
Yeah, it's just
move.
like a faint silhouette. It was like, and it didn't have no bob to it going around. It was like it just floated across the road real quick. And that's about all I've ever seen in like the Sasquatch stuff.
Yeah.
But I've seen quite a bit of, like I was telling you, the paranormal stuff, and but unless you want to hear about the paranormal stuff.
Yeah, let's hear about it. What's something significant that stuck with you?
Seeing Top Hat Man look out my son's window.
Hat Man?
Yep.
Okay. And what happened there?
I got up that morning at about 4:15 in the morning. I walked out to my truck, and I started my truck. And I parked my truck on the side of the street, the dead-end street. And I happened to look back at the house, and the curtain was pulled, and it was like the black shadow of a guy with a top hat. So I went back in the house, and there wasn't nobody in there. Everybody was still asleep and everything. And then,
all right, so last night we had some activity. We heard some vocalizations up this way, and Adam and I went up this trail over here along the St.Francis River, and we were talking about ground thumps, and we kind of did an imitation ground thump. Adam's like, "Have you ever heard that stomp?" And I was like, "Yeah, like this, boom." And we were standing there looking through the thermal device, and right behind us up on the ridge, we heard this loud thump. And I told Adam, "I'm gonna go up that ridge through the woods and see what it is." So I went straight up the ridge, and Adam was looking through the thermal, and he lost sight of me. I turned around and I tried looking for Adam on the thermal device. I couldn't see him, but I went straight up there to the power line strip, and Adam sees a figure, which it could have been me, and the figure's going to the left, away from where Adam was standing, deeper into the woods, and it was moving through the woods pretty quick. And I told him, that wasn't me. I didn't go that way, and whenever I walked up the ridge, I was going really slow. I would stop and look through my thermal, and I went straight up from where he was. This thing went to the left, and I mean, it was moving pretty quick through the woods. But whenever I got up there, I turned on my red light, and I picked up a big piece of wood and did a loud wood knock. And Adam heard that, and he's like, "What the heck? I thought you were over here." And I ended up going back around, back down the driveway, and I came up on his right side. But this figure took off towards the left, so we're not sure if that was me or possibly a Sasquatch. Later on that night, Shelby's wife, Sabrina, called them, and she said she was hearing these weird noises outside of the house, and I don't know, it kind of sounded evil. I don't want to use the word demonic, but it sounded evil. You could kind of hear some like knocks. Whenever we showed up there, we heard a loud noise at the side of the house, and we thought, all right, this creature's here. But it ended up being an armadillo. Armadillos are pretty loud, and Adam threw up the thermal drone, and we didn't see anything. We saw some cattle, some deer, and we ended up coming back, and the night was pretty quiet. But today we're going to go out to the Mark Twain National Forest. There's a few state parks nearby, and we're going to check out some areas in the pine forest and just try to see if we can find any structures and experience some activity. All right, so last night we had some strange activity. We heard some vocalizations up this way, and they sound like some howls. It could have been coyotes or owls, we're not really sure, but it happened several times throughout the night, and we're not sure if it picked it up on the audio recorders. But Adam and I ended up going up this trail up along the St.Francis River, and we were looking through the thermal device. We saw some owls, or some deer, some possums, and Adam looks at me and he's like, "Hey, have you ever heard that thump?" And he did a ground stomp, and I was like, "Yeah, I've heard that before. Whenever I was having Sasquatch activity, it just sounds like a loud thump, like someone picked up a big log and dropped it on the ground." And I did an imitation ground stomp, like this is what I said, you know? He's like, yeah, just like that. And we were looking through the thermal device across the river, and we were checking out some deer that were watching us, and behind us we heard this loud thump, just a big loud thump. And Adam's like, "Did you hear that?" I said, yeah, I heard that. So I said, "I'm gonna go up the ridge, straight up the hill, and I'm gonna see what it is. You watch me on the thermal device and see if you can spot anything out." So as I was moving up the ridge, he lost sight of me because I was going up the hill, and I turned around and I was looking through my thermal. I lost sight of him, but I went straight up the ridge. Well, Adam sees a figure moving to the left, and it's moving pretty quick, and he thought it was me, but I ended up going straight up the ridge. And whenever I got up there, I picked up a big piece of wood and I did a loud wood knock on a tree. And Adam heard that, and it was to his right, exactly where I went. And he was wondering, what the heck was that took off to the left? He got it on thermal, but we're not really sure if it was me or if it was a Sasquatch. But later on that night, we were sitting around the campfire, and Sabrina, Shelby's wife, called, and she said she was having strange activity at her place. And basically, she was hearing some weird vocalizations. Maybe it was paranormal. It sounded like there was some wood knocks. She checked the ring cam and she was able to hear it. She called Shelby and let him know, and we took off and went out there. When we got out there, we heard something moving through the woods. So Adam went one way, I went the other, and it ended up being an armadillo, but we weren't sure what she experienced. Adam threw up the thermal drone, and we spotted some deer, some cattle, and we could never figure out what it was. So we came back, got ready for bed around 1, 2 in the morning, and nothing really happened. I'm not sure if anything happened. I was asleep, but the audio recorders are out there, so maybe we picked up some of the vocalizations. Today we plan on going to the Mark Twain National Forest. There's some state parks out there, and we're hoping to capitalize on some activity. The goal is to get some video footage or just document something. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know, what's the plan for today? What are we gonna do?
Well, we've got plenty of options. We can wait on the rest of the guys to get here, do some exploring, or we could try to do what we did last night, or we can go to another good hot spot. We've also got Shelby's location. We've got Zach wouldn't care if we come over there. You know, we've got plenty of different routes. I guess it really depends on what you want to do. You've made the drive down here, and
I'm up for going to the National Forest and state park areas.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's one down here that's a walking at the Mill Streams. It's a walking kind of place, and then there's the Big Bad Sarah Barton Murphy, and you got to have four-wheel drive to get to that. But that stuff's at the ready when we're ready for it. Shelby said he was getting the 4Runner ready if we decided to go that route. When Brittany gets home, I'll have my four-wheel drive capability vehicle, and you know they're both SUVs, so we can fit. And then Joe's coming, and his Jeep is very capable. So if we had to, we could all hop in, go to another location, check it out. There's a spot down in there that I've been really wanting to go to, but I won't do it alone.
Yeah. Well, let's do it. I think that would be a good plan, and we might have a good chance of getting some activity. While we're here, I kind of want to walk through the woods, like that way and then over that way.
I could show you some cool stuff.
You found that track over there, like the one you casted?
The one I casted was actually in the front yard, but it was coming, it was pointing that way.
Okay.
So So it was either it came from up here and went into the garden, or it came down, got in the garden, and it just was leaving back out that way. But they just cleared all these power lines out here, so that's another trackway they've probably been using. So
what did you think about that loud thump we heard last night?
I just mentioned, like, you ever been out here and just heard that loud thump, and that you could feel it, like almost feel it more than you can hear it? Yeah. He's like, yeah, I have. And then about that time, thud. Did you hear that?
Right up the ridge.
Right behind us. And so then Miguel decided, he's like, you stay here, run the thermal, watch me, see if anything's moving around me. And he goes straight. And I watch him and I lose him. And then I thought I seen Miguel. I thought I was watching Miguel go left, going upriver. And then I lost him. And I'm looking back and forth. And over here to my right, the direction he went, I see his light and the wood knock that you done. I'm like, well, how did he get back? I thought he was over here. I guess he's over here. I was confused. You can hear it on the thermal because you set my mic up on there. And I'm still looking for you, and then you come rocking back up the river to my right. I'm like, I thought you went that way.
What was that I filmed going the other way?
Yeah, and when we first got there, remember I said I heard something take off?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, he's like, something was just right here. Because he was a little ways ahead of me because I'm running the thermal going back and forth, and he's getting up a little ways. And we got up to the corner of the property when he said he heard something, and right there's where we heard the thumps, the direction you went.
Yeah,
he's a lot braver than I am. I had a hard time just standing still, and he's just walking there like, where you at?
I know, right?
I turned around and I was filming you, and I was like, okay, I lost sight of him because there's some big rocks up there, and it kind of dips up. And it's pretty thick in there. So I was like, okay, I can't see him, he can't see me. So I don't know what you saw in that figure. It was moving through the woods pretty quick.
It's definitely upright.
Yeah, and I was walking through there real slow. I would stop, take a few steps, stop. So I wasn't moving that fast. That thing was like
steady pace.
He was there. He knew you were there.
Whatever it was gliding through the woods. If that was me, then
He was moving away.
I don't know. Yeah.
He knew you were there. He see him.
Yeah.
If you see him, he sees you.
Now, it's been a couple years now, I think, since the first time you come down here. And we were at Shelby's setting up to do some research, and Brittany was home alone with the kids, and she called. We have that lawnmower trailer. When we take our trash out, we'll throw it off the porch in the lawnmower trailer. Instead of carrying it all the way down the stairs, you just throw it out in that big trailer, and we'll take it up to our trash pile. And she threw it off, and the bag had missed, and it busted. So her and Emma come down here, and we're picking the trash back, putting it back in the bag. And Emma said, Mom, did you say hello? And Brittany thought that maybe she pocket dialed somebody. She was looking at her phone like, no, sis, I didn't. She's checking her phone. And in the direction that we had this stuff happen last night, she hears, hello, over here in the tree line.
Like a hello?
Yeah, like, hello. And
Deep
Brittany's like,
or
ooh.
high? Like
Brittany said it was like a raspy, witchy sound.
Was it right inside her ear?
No, it was over here.
Okay, so she didn't hear it right inside her ear.
Right.
She heard it at a distance.
And our pit bull, Dixie, was sleeping on the back porch, and she stood up, and all of her hair stood up, and she started growling in that direction. And Brittany's like, nope, nope. And she takes Emma inside, calls us. We rush over here. While we're rushing over here, Brittany walks back out on the back porch with the gun. And she said she could hear something or somebody walk away in the leaves. Hear the bipedal footsteps walking away. And me and Miguel had got here. She gave us a quick rundown of what happened, and we went right up to where we was last night.
So it wasn't a mind speak thing. He was actually verbally saying it.
Because Emma heard it, and Brittany didn't hear it the first time.
Right. But she did hear it?
Yeah, Brittany did hear it. She did hear it.
There's a video on the internet where this guy's camping out in the middle of the woods. I'm not sure if it's in like the UK or North America, but he's camping out there at nighttime, and you hear like a female say, I see you.
Oh, yeah.
I see you.
I see you.
Yeah, and that's creepy. Like, I don't know. Made me think of Sasquatch.
We've had stuff like that happen at Shelby's. Like one night we was there, and someone said Dad's name, Tim. If somebody was out in the woods messing with, they would have had to have known Dad was there, and how'd they know Dad was there?
Right.
And then there was another time Dad was hunting, and he heard, Bennett, his grandson, say, Pawpaw. And it wasn't there. Now, we've heard whistling out there. There was one night we was working on my Ford Explorer, Shelby's, because he was helping me, him and Dad. We went and got a transfer case and went to go put it in, and I had to change the yoke on it. So we had to split the case, change the yoke, put it back together, and we're sitting there. The boys come over here to my house with Brittany. They stayed the night that night. So we're in Shelby's front yard. We're putting this thing together, and I clearly heard it. Shelby heard it. Dad heard it. Heard Bennett go, "Hey, Dad! Dad!" Like he opened up the front door in the house and was yelling for his dad because it was snowing while we were putting this together. And Shelby replies, goes, "What? Yeah, what?" And I smacked Shelby. I said, "The boys ain't here, Shelby. The boys ain't here." And Shelby's face just run cold blood, just like, "The boys ain't here." And I just told Shelby, "Don't acknowledge it." And we didn't hear anything else that night. We finished doing what we was doing, but we was looking over our shoulders the rest of the night like, who were we hearing?
Yeah. Bill?
Whatever it is, don't invite him in.
Bill, that time you camped out in southern Missouri when the Squatch came up.
Yeah.
Didn't you hear someone say your name?
Yeah, that was mind speak thing though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a mind speak thing. I mean, it was like it was right inside my ear canal. That's up there. It's Bill.
Right ear or left ear?
Left ear. Bill. I was like.
Left ear is danger. Right ear is a.
And like I was going to. It freaked me out so bad. I think I'm gonna have to make my mind blank because I don't want to think about anything that might encourage whatever that was. It freaked me out.
Yeah, but the Squatch ended up coming up to your area that night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They came up here earlier, threw rocks at the guys outside the tent.
Really?
Yeah.
And they were freaking you out. You had to shoot the 45 in the air, didn't you?
Yeah. I had to shoot my 45 in the air. I was in my tent, and he was outside. He was huffing and puffing, and man, it scared the crap out of me. It was my first experience. I was in a little 2-man tent with no rain fly on it, and he was just standing inside the wood line, right where you couldn't see him very well. And I was so scared. I had a 45 on me, and I fired 5 rounds over his head, probably about 10 foot over his head, but still. I mean, that thing put out fire and a lot of noise.
Yeah.
At that time, and by the time I got done firing them 5 shots off like that, when I could see again, he wasn't there. He left.
And you weren't trying to hit him. You were just trying to scare him off.
I was trying to run him off. And
yeah. What were they doing? Did it sound like the Sierra sounds whenever they came up? Like,
no,
were they vocalizing?
I've heard them out there, but that night he goes real loud like that, like an aggressive.
Yeah.
Right at my tent. He's only like, I don't know what, near to that tree away from me. I mean, that's why it scared me so bad. He got so close. I didn't know he was there.
Yeah. And Steve, he recorded a vocalization like that back at your old place. Like,
sure did.
Ooh, ooh, or like
he did.
What you did.
2 of those. It was good too. Was it 2 or how many was it?
Yeah, like 2 or 3.
Yeah, it came across.
It almost sounded like
too.
It had Down syndrome. Like Homer Simpson primate style Down syndrome man.
Yeah.
Caveman style.
Yeah,
explain it.
I thought it was just gonna be a plain old night that night. You never know.
Joe got that good vocalization where it's like, whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was freaky. He actually got 2 of them. The first one was cut off. Like as soon as the recorder turned on, it was like mid vocalization, like whoop, and then he got a full one, and I don't know. I heard some strange howls out there, or like I recorded them. It sounded like a dog, but then it was just like really weird, like
I've heard them bark like dogs.
Like a Joker version, like woo, woo.
Yeah.
It almost sounded like a beagle. A lot of people said beagle, and then once you hear it more and more, you're like, what the heck is that? At one point, it was hundreds of yards off. Then it came up, and it was right up next to the recorder. It's like, how can an animal move that fast? Like seconds.
Yeah.
And those hills out there, man, those are some big hills.
Those things are athletes, though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I see one out there in the daytime. His thigh muscle was, man, his thigh muscle must have been. You're gonna think I'm lying till you're making it up. I'm not. It must have been that doggone big around. It had to be.
Yeah.
Like a tree trunk.
Yeah.
It was just massive.
That was the one that you and Debbie saw in the Jeep?
Yep.
Yeah.
I could not. I was like, dang. My wife goes, well, that deer don't have a tail on it.
Yeah. And that's right where we found that giant X, that cedar X?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's where they were crossing from
Yep.
one part of the Mark Twain to the other.
Yep.
And it seemed like they're following that little creek, like the waterways, because it
Yeah.
curves back around and goes by your place.
And it does. And that day we seen them, it was a real hot summer day, and we had been in one of those 3 or 4 week droughts. And I think he was going down to the creek
Yeah.
to get a drink of water, to get some water.
Yeah,
And
there's some pools of fresh water
caught.
there.
Yeah. He just got caught crossing the road a little bit. So that's all that was. But
Yeah.
it was good. It was exciting. You know, it's always exciting when you get to see one of them. It's always just for a second.
Yeah.
Second or two, but it's an exciting second or two.
It is.
You remember it the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. When Mike gets here, we'll go over the story when those 3 came up.
Okay.
Sure.
Whenever I left, is that what you're talking about? Like,
Yeah. You
we
left the
sat
day
out there for a couple days, and then once I left, Mike came over.
Mike came out there,
and then
that's
the
when
Sasquatch came out. Man.
that was the best. That was the ultimate best sighting, visitation I've ever. Off the charts. I can't even. I don't even have words to describe that experience. I can tell you about it, but I just can't tell you how much it means to me.
Could you see him pretty well?
You could not see them real well, although they were right there in front of you. You
Like
could,
right at the edge of the wood line, basically.
Yeah. They were. What do you think edge of the wood line was? Right. No, they were closer than that one. They were. I don't know. They were pretty close, and they were there for over an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And the mom just sat against a tree, and she just sat there, and these little white orbs flew around her head, and they'd get so close to her face you could see her face sometimes.
What do you think the orbs were? Do you think they were coming from the Sasquatch? Do you think it's some type of portal? Do you think it's like an energy field they put off, a spirit? Like, what were your thoughts whenever you saw that?
You know, I've thought about that, and thought about it, and thought about it, and thought about it. There's a connection. I can't figure it out. I'm not smart enough to figure it out. But there's a connection somewhere between orbs and Bigfoots. I don't know if that means, or do they have a connection to the spirit world, or the orbs coming from? I don't know.
Yeah.
Orbs are usually related to spirits. So, you know, and you hear all this talk about Bigfoots in graveyards and how they like hanging out in graveyards and stuff. I would think they did that a lot because it was such a quiet place, but they're drawn to cemeteries.
Yeah, they certainly are.
You know, so I don't know what that's about either.
I'm not sure either.
That's what keeps me going, you know, just
Everything's made up of energy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's the best conclusion or theory that I can come up with.
Yeah. It's crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, that we happen to be privileged to witness, and you tell people, and they, you know, you kind of, after a while, you kind of get calloused, and you just stop talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, to other people, other than, you know, ones like-minded, like, you know, like we are, then we get to enjoy each other's stories and everything. But outside of this, you don't get to enjoy sharing it with anyone hardly, because they just simply don't believe you.
Yeah.
So I just kind of stopped doing it.
Yeah. The way the human mind is set up, we solve problems. Like if there's something wrong, we try to figure it out, and eventually we come to a conclusion like, okay, this isn't going to work, or okay, I figured it out. But with this topic, it's just like you can never truly figure it out, and as a human being, that's tough, because we need answers and solutions for problems, and there just doesn't seem to be a solid answer as to what's going on.
No, there's not.
Yeah, I like Ron Moorhead's approach that, you know, there's something supernatural going on behind it, like a quantum world, and I think he's right.
highly respected out there in the Bigfoot community. So
I really like him.
I don't see why not. I mean, I don't know enough to call him a liar.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. All right, well,
who knows?
we'll try to figure it out.
Yep.
Adam's gonna solve the mystery tonight.
We'll know one way or another.
He's
sooner
gonna
or later.
throw a wrench right at the Sasquatch's head.
The last thing you're gonna hear Sasquatch say, if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
Yeah. I would have got away with it.
Yeah.
One thing I can say is I'm blessed to be alive.
Yeah.
Blessed to see the sun, beautiful weather, and get to hang out with you guys. It really means a lot.
Yep.
I'm glad you came down from Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
I would have been beating myself up if I didn't make it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw everything in my vehicle,
And just
stop
go.
everything I'm doing, and just go.
Yeah.
I didn't bring the cooler with ice. I didn't bring food, but I just like grabbed all the gear I had.
Get that stuff. Steve's gonna wish he had come out here too.
Yeah.
You wait. We have a good night tonight.
Yeah. He'd be like, those Bigfoots came out, and I wasn't there. The slewfoot.
But Mikey's coming over.
The big feet were there.
Skookum, or skookum. What do they call them? Skookums or something like that?
Yeah.
Skokum.
Skokum. I don't know.
I don't know. But they like Mike, so we'll see.
They do like Mike. For some reason, whenever Mike's around, there's activity.
Yeah, there is.
I always said that he looked like a tasty meal.
Kind of like on that road going into Texas. If you can eat this meal plus the potatoes, you can get it for free.
Mm-hmm. Is that Lambert's?
Is there a cat behind me?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not Lambert's. A different one.
No, okay. They knocked me out with a bread roll and hit me right in the head.
Did they?
No. Man, I thought people in Missouri were Southern, but when you go down to Lambert's, like by Cape Girardeau, they're like, how you doing?
You do.
Yeah. I was like, wow, I didn't think things got more Southern than where I'm at.
And they give you finger food while you're in line waiting.
Oh, yeah. They come back and like put okra on your plate. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is the way to be.
Thank you.
So Bill set up another tent. What is it, like a 10-man tent?
I think so.
Yeah. It's enough to fit like 2 or 3 Squatch in there.
Could have parked a car in there probably.
Yeah.
That's a mansion.
It is.
You should see it when I get the queen size bed, float up in there with the headboard on it.
What do you think about Bigfoot?
I think he's a really big road that got lost. Like he traveled somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But people says, like in my school, they say Bigfoot ain't real. People have been saying skinwalkers aren't real, so people have been saying skinwalkers a lot. But I told them what they are. They're witches that can form any kind of animal. And
Like
here's the
a
crazy
shapeshifter,
part.
huh?
Yeah, and here's the crazy part. One night, we were just sitting, me and my sister were just sitting, like walking down the front yard, and a tree got thrown at us. It was like about the size of Bill's tent. It was really huge.
This really happened?
It did. You were at work.
Brittany had said something about them being out there and a tree that got pushed over.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you scared of them?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm afraid I'm just gonna be here by myself without my phone, and one just come and get me,
Yeah.
and just breed, and just take me as its food.
Yeah.
Be a little nugget.
Yeah.
What do you think the secret of the universe is? No, I'm kidding.
Sasquatch.
Yeah, there's the answer. Okay. You're a spitting image of Adam.
I was thinking the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, right on my butt.
You're the 9/16 wrench, man. Cool. Well, if something does happen, you call me.
All right.
All right. Be like, Miguel, get out of here. I'm scared.
Take you an hour drive.
And then you know
Be
what he's
alright.
going to say to you?
What?
You better call Bill. Then he'll hang up.
Yeah. Better call Bill. I've heard of Dogman before. Did I ever tell you that story? I was probably like 11 or 12. I was sitting in my room watching Family Guy. It was probably like on a Wednesday on Cartoon Network, probably around 9 to 11 o'clock at night. Summertime, the window was open. It was super hot in the house, and I heard it. Just a loud, "Ooh," but deep guttural bass. I mean, it sounded like you were at a concert at Pops.
Yeah.
And it freaked me out, but it lasted like 5 to 7 seconds, just a deep, deep guttural. And as soon as that ended, I heard, slam that window shut, turn the lights off, got underneath the covers, and I was like, my brother's out there messing with me or someone set up a PA system out in the woods. But I'm telling you, I've heard so many coyotes in my life, and I've even researched like what wolves sound like. Dude, they sound pretty gnarly. Like, you know, it's a deep howl and they got different vocalizations. This was nothing like it. This sounded just like the classic Hollywood werewolf call, but on steroids being played through a PA system. God, dude, like, I've seen Sasquatch multiple times, but whenever I'm out there in the woods at nighttime, I think of that howl and it really messes with me. Like, it's given me issues in my life for sure.
Could you imagine seeing one peek around a tree at you while you're out there?
I always think about it. I haven't ran into one. I seen that hellhound. I don't know if that's a dogman. I seen that on Highway KK going towards the Merrimack River in Cuba, Missouri. But dude, that thing was big. It was built like a lion. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was like the size of a lion. I mean, big, had like the head of a hyena, like the snout of a hyena, but like the head of like a pit bull, and it had two little pointy ears. Yeah, it was like a blue pit bull, like a grayish color, you know what I mean? But it had like this hair around its neck like a lion. And that thing dove out of the woods, snatched up this possum, threw it up in the air, shook it like a rag doll, and tore back off in the woods. Because me and my buddy, we were in his Crown Vic, like police intercept car, and we're trying to hit that possum going down the highway, and he like stomped on the gas, and I was like, what are you doing? And once we got close to that possum, that thing leaped out of the woods, snatched it up, and just shook it, and tore back off in the woods. And he stopped the car. Yeah, we almost hit the thing. And he's like, whoa, what was that? And I was like, I don't know. The weird thing about that friend, his name was Bruce. His dad worked for MoDOT and the state patrol. Anytime I was with my friend Bruce, he'd always be like, did you say something? Did you say something? And this happened all the time for years. I was always like, no, I didn't say anything. I started thinking like I was going crazy. I was like, man, am I talking and not even realizing it? And one day I was thinking about that, like how he always says, what'd you say? I was thinking about it, and he looks at me, he's like, what'd you say? Did you say something? I said, dude, I did not say anything. I was even like mindful that you always say that, and I was thinking about it. And then you say that. And he's like, no, you said something. And it was weird because he always thought I said something. I'm like, dude, no, I didn't say anything. Like, I'm sitting there in the car, we're road tripping. I'm just quiet, looking out the window. Like, but I don't know. I've always wondered about that. Years later, I asked my friend Bruce, hey, you remember that dog that dove out of the woods and snatched up that possum? He's like, no. Like, how do you not remember that?
Yeah, how would you not remember
How do you not remember that, man? I don't know. Freaks me out.
Brittany and Sabrina, my sister-in-law, left here to go to town to get stuff, and maybe a mile from here, maybe, just past where I had my encounter with the thing with the red eyes, and just past where Cody had been chased by that thing down the road. They were going down through there, and it's right there by K Highway, and it's a straight stretch, got filled on both sides. 2 fences, you know, a little bit of a ditch there. There's no shoulder on the road. They said they come up on it, and she said it was about as big as a horse.
Really?
This thing jumps out. Its paws touch the center yellow line, and it lunged, and it cleared the other fence from the middle of the road. That is a big, big jump. She said it was real skinny looking. She said it looked identical to the werewolf from Harry Potter, but it was all black. It had no fur on it. And she could describe it a lot better than I could, but she had just boop across the highway just like that, and they were both like, "What the heck was that?"
Yeah.
That was just right up here.
Your buddy that I interviewed, he had that sighting off of Highway E. He saw like the sloth.
Yeah.
And I interviewed a guy by Lake of the Ozarks. He said he saw the same thing. It was like a sloth.
Yep.
Yeah. That guy was really cool. Really nice
it
guy.
seemed like really cool. He was talking about the pods too. That's the same thing we've heard about down by the killing fields.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
the
so
conservation
the feds-
acknowledged that there's multiple
Multiple
pods of these groups down there, Sasquatch. Josh, just out by your old place, Bill. He was leaving the sawmill, coming home from work, and he said he was speeding. He was flying, and he said he seen a big wolf,
He still determined that it was a wolf because it was so big that its head was higher than his car. I think he said he was driving a Chevy Beretta. It's kind of like a little Cavalier, little square body car. And he said as fast as he was going, as big as that thing was, he said it actually outrun his car and across the road and up there. Like he said he had to hit the brakes to keep from hitting it, but he said it was moving so fast that it was as fast as the car. And he said it was so big. Mm-hmm. Biggest dog he's ever seen. That was out Sea Highway.
Yep.
Right by Rockpile Mountain Road.
There's been a lot of sightings of different things out there, man. A lot right across right there on Rockpile Mountain, Sea Highway. I mean,
I still wonder why they call it Rockpile Mountain.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it would be terrifying to come across something like that out in the woods. Like last night, if we had been like, what was that sound? And then you just seen a big canine head reach around a tree, man, you'd have had left me because I'd have fell over dead.
Yeah. Dude,
I'd have a heart attack.
When I think about that dog man house, sometimes I tear up. Like, it tears me up, man.
And you'll hear that Hollywood-style classical, just out here. You'll hear that out here.
Dude, it was so loud. I don't know how to explain it. I honestly thought that it was like a dog man that challenged a Bigfoot. But then I've heard later on that dog men could scream like women, too. I mean, it sounded like a woman being gutted. Just...
And I've heard other channels people, talking about their encounters, saying that dogmen will mimic people to try to lure you into woods. Mm-hmm. And me and Brittany's kind of on the fence about.
They'll be like, help.
Yeah, we're on the fence about the hello she heard, is what we're thinking. It might have been like, because she was bent over behind the trailer, and if it was there, all it would have seen was Emma. Mm-hmm. And then when Brittany stood up, and it was like, okay, I got to go.
Parrots can say hello pretty doggone good. They can do it.
Yeah. All I got to say is that they don't stand a chance against Jesus Christ.
That's right.
Yeah. I got fingernails and I got teeth, and I will use them if I don't die of a heart attack first.
Yeah. How far is LBL from here? Like 3 hours?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, and it's solid woods all the way to there.
Yeah.
Do you want to go there someday?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
We're
go
taking the armored ambulance first.
Are you even allowed to camp there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, they got campgrounds in there.
You can't have a gun there. Do you know that? You're not allowed to have a gun on LBL. I'm not even joking.
I wouldn't even go if I could.
Okay, then we won't take guns.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll find a good hiding spot.
Yeah.
Now, they have, at Land Between the Lakes, there is a recreational area for camping, and you can take four-wheelers and side-by-sides, off-road vehicles in there. Mm-hmm. So, Zach has been there. He could tell you all about it. He's been out there riding a lot.
If there's dogmen there, and I've had the dogmen encounter 5 minutes from town where I live at, and I've seen all the Sasquatch there, there's no reason they're not here, or the Current River area. I mean, Rockpile Mountain.
I'd rather be faced with a Bigfoot problem than I would a dogman problem.
Did you actually hear that?
There's sightings out there by Fort Leonard Wood.
Someone just yelled help right over there.
Dude, the coolest thing I've ever seen though was that little juvenile. Dude, that was the most coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That'd have been awesome.
He was sweet looking. He was a handsome little guy. Yeah. Had the most innocent eyes I've ever seen. Just like when you're looking into like a little kid's eyes, like a 3-year-old, how white they are and just how innocent they are. That's what it was like. And he was just chilling. You could tell that's what he did every day. He was posting up, and he was on guard.
He was living a good life.
Yeah, he was living a good life. When he saw me, it looked like he saw the devil. He was just like, oh,
they do exist.
Yeah, he was. That's exactly what it was like. I think he was more shocked than I was. Man, I wish I could see him again. And I always have like a feeling that years later, maybe when I'm like 40 something, I'll run into him again and he's gonna be way bigger. And I'm gonna know that it's him because he had a really unique look. Like, he didn't look like Patty. I mean, resembled Patty, but completely different look.
Now,
huge head. I mean, his head was like that big around, but it was like a conical shaped head. But dude, I kid you not, like, it went up to like, I mean, like, the conical part of his head was like a foot and a half over his eyebrow. Like when he turned and I saw a side profile of it, like my eyes were scanning it. Kind of like when you're in St. Louis and you're underneath those big buildings, your eyes are like scanning the building. That's how it was. Like I was scanning his whole head. Dude, it was amazing.
Like Conehead, like on the movie Coneheads.
Yeah, and like if you ever seen those skeletons from like Peru, like the elongated ones, or Nefertiti, like that's how it was. But it came to a point. And he had hair all over his body, just like a little black bear. Like real shiny, clean hair. It looked like he bathed and used conditioner. Like it was the most beautiful creature ever. And there's that channel called A Flash of Beauty. That's what it was. It was like a flash of beauty. It's like, wow, look at that.
You had mentioned before that you could actually see some of its teeth.
Yeah, he had 2 canines sticking from the top down, resting on his lip. Almost like if you saw like a little kid with buck teeth that, you know, rested on his lip. It was like that, but he had 2 canines and they were dental white like a German Shepherd. If you ever look at a German Shepherd's teeth, they're super white. That's what it was like. And his eyes were big like light bulbs, like white light bulbs. I mean, it was cool. I mean, it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Whenever I saw him, I was like, my God, they do exist. Because I seen the jet black one with the white stripes, I think like 3 weeks before that. And I knew what I saw, but I just kept telling myself, like, did I really see that? Even though I saw him just like Bob Gimlin and Roger Patterson seen Patty, it was just like that. But my brain kept telling me, like, did you really see that? Did you really see that? I'd have to tell myself, like, you dummy, you saw it. But then my mind would like wander off, like, you didn't see that. Yes, you did. No, you didn't. And that's why I kept going out there to investigate. I never thought I'd see another one. And then they showed up to my house and I told you guys about the spotlighting incident. I think ever since I seen that juvenile, like the clan showed up that night to be like, you come out here and mess with my kid, you're gonna pay for it.
There's more than
that
us
was the
and
feeling
there are
I
you.
got.
An intimidation stance.
And a year before I saw the jet black one with the white stripes, I seen one out there at Merrimack Springs. And I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a black bear. He scurried off just like the juvenile, and then he hid behind a tree, except he never came back out from behind the tree. So I was like, man, that's an intelligent black bear to hide behind a tree like that and just observe me. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a group of turkeys, hogs, maybe a black bear, until it hid behind the tree, because all I saw was a big black arm slowly hide behind the tree. And they will, like when they hide, it's like slow motion. It was freaky.
Well,
But,
you must have got a really good look at it, because that day that I come up, the last time I was there, you did a reenactment of what you seen. You had me stand where you were standing, and you went where you saw it, and what do you say, 30, 35 yards max?
yeah, I mean, it was right there in the wood line.
I mean, he got a really good look at it.
Yeah. And how that juvenile was alerted to my presence, because whenever I'd walk, like, I would take like steps real quiet. And I was almost playing that game, you know, you step on the crack, you'll break your mother's back.
Yeah.
And I was doing that because I was trying not to step on gravel and just be real quiet, because I was trying to figure out who the hell was out in the woods. But whenever I was walking, I stepped on a piece of gravel and it was like, that's when he went on all fours. I was like, what the heck is that? Hid behind a tree real slow. I was like, well, whatever that was, it's gone. And this is the same thing that I seen at Merrimack Springs. Well, whatever it is, it's gone. And then he steps out behind the tree. But he's not looking at me, he's looking like this way. Well, this way, you're me, I'm the Sasquatch. He steps out from behind the tree.
What's he looking at?
He thought he heard something whenever I stepped on the gravel. And you could tell that when he thought he heard something and didn't see what it was, he was just like, you know, nothing today. And he scanned this way and he saw me, his eyes go boom. And like he changed, like his demeanor changed. Like he was calm, relaxed, thought he heard something, didn't see what it was. Then when he saw me, it was like he saw the devil, and he goes, puffed up and shot down like this. And like went behind the tree, and that was it. Like you didn't see him run away like a whitetail, like once he hid behind the tree like that, he was gone.
That was it.
I was looking to the left, to the right of the tree, nothing. Just completely gone. And just like this, everything's back to normal. You can hear the birds, nothing. I mean, I knew right there, like, wow, that's how these things hide. They're super fast. They're able to avoid people. They're super quiet. But then, you know, you factor in like the orbs, the cloaking, other dimensions. It's like, what else are they doing? It has something to do with trees. I'm not sure what it is, but trees play a big part in all this.
You know where Ron Moorhead stands on that, with the trees and the Sasquatch. There's a big connection between the two.
Yeah, the Vikings used to talk about the trees like they're able to talk or something. I don't know. There's something like supernatural, spiritual about the trees, but I don't know.
You're kind of like me, man. You've been doing it a lot longer than I have, but the more I do this, you have so many more questions. You start to question reality of this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how is it possible?
It's like Mike says. Mike, that's going to show up later on today. He's like, the more I learn, the less I know.
Yeah, you're left with more questions than answers.
I had a question. So, are you gonna pause it, and when we get to the night part, until we get to the night part?
What do you mean?
Are we gonna investigate in the night or day?
No. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go out to Sarah Barton Murphy, and we're gonna tie you up to a tree and put peanut butter all over you, and then we're gonna leave, come back here, and we're gonna leave you with a walkie-talkie. You're gonna be like, help, help.
Yeah, I was really proud of him last night because him and Emma were able to go from the back of the house to us. Normally that does not happen. Where I parked my little car, you can't get the kids to walk to the front door without us normally.
Yeah.
Because they're scared, but they're aware. Like during the day, they'll be all over. And with me being kind of a crappy person, like, what's that behind you? Run! You know.
Yeah.
I'm a little evil like that.
Yeah. We're gonna have to play tricks on them. Try to trick the Sasquatch. You're like, check this out.
Sasquatch like, oh. You ever see them people do that to the monkeys at the zoo, and they freak out like, oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen them do that.
The monkeys are like, what? Magic.
There's this guy on YouTube. He's got this plastic knife, and it's got like a spring in it, and like when you push the knife, it goes into the handle. Yeah. But he'll be like that, and his dog's like, and he'll stab his dog.
Dog freaks
I
out.
wonder if those monkeys and chimps and stuff at the zoos, if they can see IR.
Oh yeah. Deer can see it. Caribou can see it. We can't see it. I'm sure the Squatch can.
I know the Squatch can. Just one of those chimps can.
Yeah.
Chimps
Oh
and
yeah, I'm
monkeys, I
sure.
bet they can.
You have to bring a remote.
That's all you gotta do. Just stand there and hit it, see if any of them.
It does put off IR because I've used my night vision camera and I've had a remote, and it's like, whoa, creates a big flash. We can't see it.
Yeah.
I could have my night vision out, and Shelby can have his phone, and you can see the phone flash, and it's IR for facial recognition.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I got the remote for this camera, and I was using it one night, and I was like, whoa, puts off a flash.
Charles, he came out here a couple weekends ago, and he's got what is that? It's Caterpillar phone, cell phone, smartphone. It's got flare on it. It's got thermal capability on this cell phone. Now, it's the bottom of the barrel. I guess some of these guys that work on heavy equipment will use that to track hot cylinders or whatever they're working on.
Yeah.
So the Sasquatch are on a wavelength. Like, what wavelength are they on?
It's somewhere in the 500s.
Yeah.
If I was to guess.
Yeah. What wavelength do you think Sasquatch is on?
Be 6.0.
440
6.0.
hertz. I don't know.
548.
If you're a scientist, help us out. We need to get like a group of scientists who are well funded to help us out. I know every researcher says that, but we need people that are willing to take time out of their life to come out here with us with really good equipment and a brain that thinks beyond normal human capacity.
Yeah.
And they need to be open-minded.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about the Sasquatch as being an undiscovered species, which is what we're all hoping for. But let's be open-minded enough to say if it did have some kind of supernatural or interdimensional properties to it, what's the, you know, like how do we measure that? How do we try to figure out what, you know, if they was, you know, we got to try to figure that out, because we'll get closer to the answers the more open-minded we are, I think.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe
somebody to befriend them.
Yeah.
Bill?
Well, Mike's coming. Mike's good buddies with him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, we could do this. We should set a game camera out, and we would all go inside, stay up all night.
You want me to count the game cameras? 1, 2, 3, 4,
10.
5 game cameras, and there's 4 live feed 360-degree cameras around the house. 1 overlooking the garden where we got the footprint.
Yeah.
Just in case he comes back for some more, you know, maybe he won't see it. I do have it higher up in the tree, but
Yeah.
And is any of them night vision?
you can turn it off.
Because you know, if you have night vision on them, you just kind of push them away from your house.
That's what they say.
Well, that's what a lot of people want.
I'm willing to prove that.
I'm kind of okay with that.
But I haven't yet.
I don't want them looking in my window when I'm, you know,
Right.
just going about my day and then have a heart attack. Because, man, when I'm out here doing this and I'm kind of expecting it, I'm fine. As long as I got somebody with me.
Yeah. It makes a big difference.
But when you get caught off guard, oh, man, it scares me.
It does. I know I've experienced that.
Yeah.
And it'll freak you out, man.
Then you'd be paranoid for like 2 or 3 weeks. Every time you hear one little crunch, you're like, what was that? It's here.
Man, that echoes.
If you give this place a chance, it will produce.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, I've seen it multiple times. Well, I've heard it.
You can ask Elias, man. I don't sit out here and do calls. I don't do my researcher thing here. I don't do it. I go to Shelby's, because if I want to call one in, I'd rather it be at his house, not my house. He'll deal with it.
Yeah. I got a live feed out in my place, out in the woods. I showed you.
Yeah, that's cool. Your quality's really good.
Yeah.
Now mine...
The mic kind of sucks, so I'm going to have to call them and ask them if that's normal. There's like some static.
See, that's what you need, man.
Mm-hmm.
Does it come right back to your house?
Yeah.
Live feed.
Yeah, I can turn it on right now and watch it.
See,
I'll show you.
That's how you... Is it recording?
I can hit record.
Yeah, mine, you can make
like
it
if
look
a
at
deer
us.
walks in front of it, it takes a photo and sends it to my phone.
Okay.
Well, if I like that photo, I can hit video and it'll send me a video.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. It works off AT&T.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
I can hit play on it.
See, here's that at my place. Right now.
Oh,
I'll show
mine
Bill.
froze.
See, that's right now at my place.
What is?
Now, see, that's cool right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get a picture of them.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
How much did that costing you? How much did that cost us?
Almost $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the camera itself is like 400 something bucks. Then I had to buy the battery, the solar panel, then pay $200 a year to use it. But I'm gonna take this one out and put it out at David's place on the killing fields, and then I'm gonna buy another one. You can connect another one for an additional $5. But.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to get 3 or 4 of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Harry, I'm bragging about how awesome mine are. And
Oh, there you go. Yeah. That is a good picture.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
is out here up to no good?
Uh-huh. Really?
I mean, that'll deter somebody.
Yeah.
You can also talk through it.
Like, hey, get the heck out.
What are you doing over there? Hey, get out of my house. I don't know if you can hear that.
No. But if I was up there on the porch.
I swear it works.
All right, so Mike and I are going to explore the forest around Adam's place. We're going to see if we can find any tracks, any structures, maybe see the hairy people.
They may show themselves, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We heard a loud thump last night over there.
Well, just a few minutes ago, I heard some downriver, what sound like loud owl.
Yeah.
And it's, middle of the day.
Looks like he's got a little tree house over here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'd be sitting in there at nighttime.
That'd be a good place to come out and hang out.
Yeah. Now, what did that sound like to you? Like a woo?
Kind of sounded like that. It
Maybe it was a dog.
could have been a dog.
Yeah.
Could have been a squatch.
It's hard to say.
And out here, you don't rule either one of them out.
All right. Oh, there's some people over there.
So it may have been a dog with people over there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We're about, probably, as the crow flies, Miguel, probably about a half to 3/4 of a mile where I had a real good sighting back in December.
Really? What happened there?
Well, he was about 30 yards away,
Mm-hmm.
and the person I was with pointed him out and said he's right up there. And I looked, and I didn't see. Where? What are you seeing? And I was told to look between the two trees at the cone-shaped figure. And when I looked and saw that, then I saw the cone-shaped figure. And at the time, as you're looking up in the woods, it just looked like part of the woods.
Yeah.
And then it moved. And once it moved, then you can see everything. Once you see the movement, once you see the Sasquatch, then you can see everything.
Yeah.
And he was on his all fours, but the height was about my height,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm with his head, and I'm about 6.5 foot, 6'5". So I'm sure if he would have stood, he'd been 10 foot tall at least. And the head and shoulders were 3 of me.
Mm-hmm.
And we locked eyes at about 30 yards for about 15 seconds, and I wasn't astonished. I wasn't afraid or anything because I'd been looking for that kind of sighting for 4 years, right?
Yeah. Was this right down the road?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so I said some nice things to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing, he kind of gave a little sway. How'd that do? He kind of gave a little sway. And then the last thing he did is he nodded his head at me and just turned around and meandered off back up into the woods where I couldn't see it anymore, staying on all fours the whole time.
That's absolutely incredible.
It was
Yeah.
darker color, closer to a black, but he had almost like a little silver complexion on the backside.
What did he look like in the face?
I couldn't get a clear view of the face because of the shadows of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
You could just see, as far as eyes and nose and all that, I really didn't get a real clear view of it. You could see where they were, but just a great big, about 3 times the size of my head and 3 times the size of my shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
and probably 10 foot tall and every bit of 1,000 pounds.
Oh, wow.
But it was so graceful because when he meandered up the woods on all fours, you couldn't hear it.
Yeah, they're
hear
silent.
Silent.
Mm-hmm.
Something that big and that heavy going through the woods with dead silence.
Yeah.
And it was incredible.
Yeah. Is that the same individual that the neighbors seen up down the road? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've seen him before.
They've seen him.
Okay.
And I was where I was with, and they were like, there he is, and I'll come over and get a look at him. And I've been from the time I first saw the tracks to know of the existence in December 19. This was December 23. It's almost 4 years to the week.
Okay. Yeah.
And I had seen a distance tree peeker, shadow figure at dusk, silhouettes at night, out at Bill's place, and the eye shine, all the different things I've seen before, but to have that first just clear, up close and personal sighting was really incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine it was.
But
it seemed pretty nice.
Yeah, very, very chill.
Okay.
Very chill. And just there's no aggression shown whatsoever.
Daytime?
daytime. It's about 10:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
So it, you know, and
Was it in the backyard?
it was up beyond the backyard, up in the
Oh, okay.
about 30 yards into the woods up there.
That seems to be where they were coming from.
That's
Too
where
bad they logged that area.
Yeah, that's where they come from. Then they did a lot of logging over there, and I think that's upset them a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's you know, it's an area that I'd walked several times, you know, over the past couple of years, and you know, gone right through there, walking back and forth. And I'm telling you, if they're not moving, they could be 15, 20 feet from you, and you'd never know it. You'd never know it.
Yeah. Yeah, they can sneak up
And
on
it
you.
makes you wonder how many times that's the case.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Appreciate you for sharing that with me.
No problem. It's probably been 4 years or more since you and I have done it. You know, you think
Has it been that long?
The first time we got together and did something was I guess it was probably December of 20 when we did those documentaries.
Yeah.
And
First time we got together, we had Sasquatch activity.
Yeah, we had Sasquatch activity.
That was awesome.
That's when the night he lifted that tree and all that, you know. Anytime somebody asks me how strong they are, I refer back. You got to watch that video. You got to watch the internet video. He's literally lifting a tree up.
Yeah.
And letting it drop.
Oh yeah. I always talk about that on my channel. The night that they came up at the edge of the woods, you can confirm it.
I can confirm it because I was there.
They wood knocked. I set the audio recorder in front of them, and I mean, they were vocalizing that next morning. There's all kinds of stuff that happened. Walking around the yard.
Too bad Bill sold that place, isn't it?
I know. If I would have had the money, I would have bought that.
Well, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Bill and I sat out there one night, and we saw 3 of them with the eye shine just about 30 to the edge of the trees. We watched them, and they watched us for about an hour.
Yeah.
Before a storm rolled in.
I stayed there for 3 days before that happened, and me and Bill sat around that fire freezing. I mean, the wind was blowing so hard, and it was a Friday. I got burnt out. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go home. Then you showed up that day, and the Sasquatch came out. I wish I wouldn't have left that day.
Well, it wasn't just a Sasquatch. It was a bunch of orbs too. They were you know, and I said this before that I've only seen the orbs about 5 times in my life, but they've all been associated with Sasquatch activity.
Yeah.
Now I've been involved with Sasquatch activity many times without orbs, but the only time I've seen the orbs was associated with Sasquatch activity, and that's, you know, which makes you start doing the math. There might be something to that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've heard a lot of people talk about that. So basically, you guys sat around the fire, did the same thing that me and Bill did.
Sat around and talked for, you know, and for a couple of the last hour of it, they'd come in. It got dark. They'd come in. We saw the eye shine there at the edge, and a couple as an adult and a couple young ones. And the young ones were kind of playing around, messing around. Every so often, they toss a walnut our way, and that walnut would land, you know, 20, 30 feet from us, and just, you know, roll around. Yeah. And then every so often they do that.
How well could you see the individuals?
You could see silhouettes and eye shine. You really couldn't see, you know, dark. You really couldn't see more than that.
Right.
But
they were standing right there where Bill had his encounter previously?
Yeah.
By that down tree?
Right there where he saw the one by the down tree, right?
Yeah.
Kind of playing around with those trees, kind of give him a little blind there. And we went over the next morning and looked, and there was, the bigger one left a 16-inch footprint that we could tell, and that was, you know, by the indication, like roughly 8 foot tall. Could have been a juvenile male, could have been a female with the kids. Don't know that for sure, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the thing you do at that point, you make a decision. Do we walk toward them and try to, you know, provoke a closer interaction? But then in doing that, how are they going to react to that? Will they see it as a threat and come after you, or see it as a threat and just go away and never come back for a while? And you know, you make a decision on that. We decide, well, we're just going to sit and observe.
Yeah.
And not see what happens if something else is tried.
Yeah.
So.
That seems to be the best approach, kind of just ignore them and let them come closer and closer.
Yeah.
It seems like once you wood knock and call or try to approach them, like the activity will cease.
If they know we are there, there's no sense in wood knocking.
Yeah.
They know you're the one doing the wood knocking.
Right.
Or the calling. They might, what they think, I mean, they're intelligent. We all know they're intelligent. Are we mocking them?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, we don't like it if somebody's mocking us. You know, are we mocking them? So I just use the approach to be myself and talk to them in straight English. I don't know if they understand straight English or not. I'm sure some things they probably do. And, you know, I just want them to hear a friendly voice.
Yeah. They seem to like you, though.
Make sure they know I'm on their side.
Yeah. Why do you think they approach you?
Probably for that reason.
Yeah.
I want to come across as non-threatening to them.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, hey, I'm here. I'm your friend. You know, I want to learn from you guys. You know, which is what, you know, once you discover the existence,
mm-hmm.
you want to learn what their secret is.
Yeah.
What's their secret? How can they be so plentiful in North America and 95% or better of the people not have a clue about it?
Right.
They got something going for them that the rest of us don't.
Yeah.
And when I get a chance to get out, those are the things I want to try to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Well, if they come in tonight, I'm just going to let them approach us.
And we can hopefully have a good night. Hopefully they'll do that.
Yeah.
Bill and I camped many times, and we've had them outside the tent door, literally right outside the tent door, from me to you, separated by a tent wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've had other nights where we've had zero activity that we know of.
Yeah. Well, they're always around. That's for sure.
Yeah. They don't always make the noise and let you know they're around, but I've got a feeling that most of the time they got eyes on you.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I agree.
For it to go on the top of this, underneath this branch, and then have that branch sitting on top of it.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
This has been blown in here or carried in here.
Yeah, it kind of caught my attention too. But
It's not an obvious Squatch structure, but there's enough going on with it to make you think it doesn't look like it's all weather either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, the trees and the branches are small enough for a human to be able to do that, but humans just don't do that. They don't make a habit of doing things like that out in the woods too much.
No.
So I'm curious as to what put that together and what the reason was for it. I'm definitely not 100% conclusive Squatch on that. I'm not going to come out and say that, but it caught my attention.
Yeah. All right, the pizza has ants all over it, so we're going to feed that to the Sasquatch. All right, so we're basically going to place this pizza where we can see it with the thermal device, and we'll be sitting right over there. So it'll be right in the line of sight. I'd say right here. Just place that right there. We got a meat lovers. We got ruined by the ants, which sucks. But yeah, hopefully they come right down through here, and you know, I'm expecting some possums, raccoons, and whatever else may come. All right, we're gonna place this out there as well. We left a bunch of burgers and brats out last night, which we should have refrigerated just like the pizza, but they won't go to waste. Yeah, we got a corn feeder right here. Looks like some salt.
So,
what do you got?
I wonder if I put an apple
On there? Yeah.
up here.
I'll do it. I might come down and eat it later on.
Hey, you want to just set them up right here? All of them?
Yeah, we can do that.
Make a little symmetrical shape.
Yeah, that'll work. They'll be able to see it.
They'll be able to see them.
What kind of pattern do you got here?
I'll just make a little. Whatever you want to call it. X square, one in the middle.
Yeah.
Some kind of pattern.
Hey, it's worth it. And over here,
We have the burgers and brats on a platter. Yeah, some tomatoes. But I mean, they'll come right down the pipe. There's a camera right there, so who knows? They might not come out.
Oh, that camera may.
I think it's one of those 0 IR cameras, from what it looks like. Which, I don't know how true that is. Little trail that goes to the river.
Yeah. What's this little configuration of sticks here? Is that
Where are we going?
We're gonna go to.
You don't have to say the actual name.
Okay, I was about to say, you want me to disclose? We're going to a local conservation area.
Mm-hmm. Not the ones we mentioned earlier, but kind of close.
Yeah, kind of close. But there's some roads that go through there that are not maintained.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see. It's rough. You definitely have to have four-wheel drive or an ATV to get through there.
Okay.
Real close to the hot spot that you've had in the past. And I've heard some whoops out there in the middle of daylight. Really good ones. Me and you've had rocks thrown at us there. Yeah.
Is that some of the areas where you guys have filmed activity in the past, where you're out there in the woods?
Yeah, one of our first videos we ever did was there.
Okay, cool.
Lots of vocalization when we was there.
Twice. We had to us twice out
Are we tying you to the tree, or me?
We can.
Okay. Then we'll leave you out there.
I got more flavor.
Yeah?
I got more butter.
More butter.
I'm all skin and bones.
You're spicy.
You're spicy.
We taste like Taco Bell.
Right? Sasquatch taco. Mm-hmm. Well,
let's go fuel up and.
Are you bringing the 4Runner?
Yep.
Okay. The old 4Runner?
Jeep recovery vehicle.
Yeah.
For all you Jeep lovers out there, Toyota is better.
Worse fuel mileage, but less horsepower. We can't break stuff.
I do need that purple strap.
What's the deal with everyone putting like little ducks on the dash of their Jeeps? I've been seeing that everywhere.
It's called Nice Duckin' Jeep.
Nice Duckin' Jeep. Okay.
We own a Jeep, but you're not going to see any rubber duckies in ours.
Yeah.
I seen a thing.
I'm gonna start putting little Sasquatch.
I seen a thing that said my life might be rough, but at least I don't got ducks on my dashboard.
Yeah. That's one thing. All right, let's do it.
Oh yeah, you're on this side of the road.
Yep, European style, man. Pretty good area, though.
Yeah, I think it's a great area. We've had a fair amount of good activity out here.
Yeah. I told Bill to send us a text if there's action over there. Good water source here.
Yeah, years and years ago, I guess conservation come in and put in these little ponds for the wildlife.
Yeah.
But they put fences up around them.
Really?
Ironically,
That's kind of weird.
See that?
Fences around the pond, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. Like, stay out, deer.
Some people say they're old mine sheds, but that's not true. Sarah Barton, the Barton family, was one of the biggest settlers in America. And she donated all of her property to conservation.
So I guess the Francis family owned a lot of land out here?
The Francis.
Is it St. Francis? No, this is Madison County. But there is a St. Francis County, isn't there?
Francis County,
yeah.
And I live on the St. Francis River.
Dude, this looks horrible.
It's easy stuff.
So it gets worse?
Yeah. If we wasn't in a hurry, I'd dive off in that deep stuff just to play.
Dude, that looks pretty bad. So when it rains, this place is screwed. So the road gets worse, huh?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's worse, gets a little better, it gets worse.
Yeah.
It never gets good until you're back to the other side.
You think I'd be able to bring my car back here?
Your Ranger would make it because my Explorer made it up here.
Yeah. Not my Mustang though.
Well, we could do some cool stuff to it. Make it like a little 3-hour Mustang.
Oh god. I heard something. Yeah. As soon as we got out of the vehicles. I heard something up here too. I got the feeling that right here is a good spot.
There,
Big mud hole.
about 200 yards up, that video we filmed where the rock got thrown over the Explorer. It's right up here.
That way? Okay.
And then that little makeshift metal shed that you hear that rock smoke the side of it. That's, if you follow this, it goes down, and down at the bottom of that. That's where that happened.
Let's try to see what we can find. Maybe we can hear something. You peeing? Yep. Okay. He's laying down his scent. I mean, I'm not saying everything's Bigfoot. I'm just pointing out little sounds I hear. Acorns are falling, squirrels are playing.
The mud's dirty.
Yeah.
And this mud's not.
Some dirty mud.
Them don't look bad, but they're bad or dead.
Yep.
Pretty bad.
There's no bottom.
Yeah, Bill's saying there's quicksand in Oklahoma.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, let's look for some tracks or something.
A little bit over there, maybe. Hard to tell.
Okay, let's walk around and see what we can find, man. No. Looks like a possible tree snap, man.
30%.
Definitely the right height, though. That right height.
There's 2 big pine trees up there. They're snapped off, pointing the same direction. They're like that.
Yeah. Smell that rubber?
That was still really green the first time I found it.
Yeah.
That's one of 2. There's another one. Yeah, it's still green. It lived. I'll be darned. This one survived.
It survived, huh? Yeah, there's some breaks.
And when we were down there and we heard those whoops that were coming from this direction, that's what motivated me and Josh to come this way.
Yeah. Kind of a dark forest, huh?
This is the pine thicket. I've been so scared to go down there.
Are we in the pine thicket?
All that right there is one pine thicket down in there. This is probably another road for the vehicles, to be honest.
Okay. Should we get out and look around a little bit? Did you see that episode I made from Lake of the Ozarks? That guy had a cool 4Runner. Dude, we got stuck in some mud. Like we were uphill and he was just gassing it. And he kept gassing it, and he actually got it out. I was shocked. Man, all those breaks are like around the same height. I mean, there are trees that are down next to it, so maybe that's what it was.
We let out some vocal calls, and over in this direction, it was very faint. It was far off. There was 2 vocalizations, and all we had was GoPro, so they didn't catch it, but we heard it.
Yeah.
Classic
What was it? What'd you hear?
Ohio owls, man, just oh.
Maybe we'll hear something. You definitely get a feeling out here.
Yeah, it's like a ooh.
You're being watched. If you got lost out here, how hard would it be to find the highway or a house?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Okay.
Just pick a direction, walk, you'll find a road. That way's asphalt, that way's gravel, that way's 67.
I'm not sure because the acorns are falling, but I'm pretty sure I heard a wood knock that way. Oh, I hear something moving. Hang on, guys. I heard something moving where I heard that wood knock. A big rock, man. That tree fell, or I thought it dropped like out of there. What just happened? It fell over?
Oh, backwards?
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of weird. On its own? Yeah. I heard that. Something's moving around back there. We got an owl over here. We heard him. We're hearing weird vocalizations over there. Was that a second tree that fell down earlier? Yeah. Yeah? I saw it. I might have gotten it on film. That was like some invisibility cloaking stuff.
Well, I picked that one up. I had thought I was going to shoot it right there in front of you, and then that one fell.
Yeah, I saw it fall. You didn't touch it? Weird.
It was a good.
Did you get that?
That was weird. That's not even the same one I had. Oh, we need to get out of here. I don't have.
Are there any Sasquatch out here? We want to be your friends. Let us know if you're out here. Can you push over a tree? Can you guys push over a big tree? You hear that? Could have been an acorn. Pretty loud acorn. Can you guys give us a sign? Can you guys give us a vocalization? Can you make some noise? Can you give us a for sure sign that you guys are living out here? See a light down there? What do you see?
Down there?
No.
There's a yellow light. Come over here.
I don't see anything. Where? Do you see it?
Two of them. And one on the right, one on the wall.
Where?
I can see it.
Oh yeah, I see.
Did you see it? Oh man, that's awesome. You think we do it again? Let me wait.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, I see it. You see that? There's a light right over there. That kind of sounded like a wood knock, don't you think?
Little.
Yeah, could have been an acorn. There's a lot of rocks down there, so Can you guys push over a tree? You got side-by-sides coming?
Sounds like it, don't it? They might be ruining it for us.
Well, that encounter that Jackson and Michelle had was a big side-by-side ride, so they went in their camper and the outside's in the bed of their truck. And when they all left is immediately when it started. They were shaking the truck and the camper, growling, whooping, breaking tree branches.
Mm-hmm. You hear something moving back there?
Sounds like it. I checked it with them a minute ago.
Did you hear something down there?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
What? See that mouse?
Mouse? No.
The mouse jumped across.
So we didn't have too much activity last night. There were some coyotes going off, some owls in the distance, and there could have been something that happened whenever I was asleep, but I'm not really sure. I got a few hours of sleep. It was pretty rough. Some of the guys were snoring, so around 2 in the morning I had to move my tent to the other side of the property, and I got a little bit of sleep. I remember hearing some strange noises as I was falling asleep, but I didn't really care. I was so tired that I just passed out. And yeah, it's getting pretty rough, guys. I'm I don't know how much longer I can do this. I don't know, you go out there and you try really hard to find these things or to experience some activity, and you just kind of try everything. You know, a lot of people are like, you have to go deep out in the woods if you actually want to find something. And you know, I've tried that many times, and then when people see you going deep out in the woods, they're like, no, you have to stay in place, they will come to you. And you know, I've tried that too, and it's worked in the past, but it just seems like the more I do this, the less activity I experience. And I was talking with Adam about this. It seems like the more equipment you buy, the more prepared you become, the less stuff that happens. And it's the strangest thing. Whenever I didn't have very much gear, there was all kinds of stuff happening. And then I started accumulating more gear. I bought a thermal device, night vision, a parabolic dish, audio recorders, and all kinds of camping equipment. And, you know, you think to yourself, now that I'm prepared, I got all this, we're really gonna get some good evidence. But it doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, like, the more effort you put into this, the less activity you experience, which goes against everything I know in life. You know, it seems like in life, the more you try and the more effort you put into something, the more likely you are to accomplish that goal. But with this, it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like the more effort you put into it, the less stuff that happens. But I don't know. Maybe it's just my mindset right now, but it just seems like I don't know how much longer I can do this. You know, I mean, it doesn't make much sense to put all your eggs in one basket just to fail. I don't know. I guess I'm just beside myself. That's the most hurtful thing in life, is like when you try to do your best and you do everything in your power to make it work and things just get worse. I don't know. It's a pretty low feeling. And I know you guys know exactly what I mean. Everybody has their ups and their downs, but I don't know. A lot of people say I do this for money. I'm trying to capitalize on the subject, but that's not the case. I mean, I've seen these things, I've looked at them right in the eye, and I've been really close to them when I didn't have a camera. And it just sucks, like, when you tell people, you try to warn them, or you run this channel and you know, you see people in the comments, they say there's no photos, no evidence. You know, they ask you what you're smoking, you're hallucinating, you're seeing things, your mind's playing tricks on you. And the worst part is, like, whenever your own family tells you, you know, you're under a lot of stress, so you're just seeing things. There's no such thing out there such as Bigfoot. And, you know, that's my motivation, is to document some activity to help those who have been ridiculed, the people that their own families don't believe them and their family members separate themselves from that person because they don't want to be associated with that. The people who have coworkers that walk up to them and say, so how many Bigfoot have you seen today? And, you know, people that get laughed at. That's my main motivation, is to get some real evidence, just like Bob Gimlin did, just like Ron Moorhead, and add on to the pile of evidence that's out there. But yeah. This is all I'm doing right now. I've been trying to get out in the woods and just clear my head. I haven't been doing anything too crazy other than just trying to focus on my channel and find myself spiritually, mentally, and physically. But yeah, today I'm gonna pack up my gear and we might go out into the forest again, but I don't know, I'm pretty tired. If I could do something today, my goal would be to go back out to Bill's place, which Bill used to live around here. He had a bunch of activity at his place, but he sold his property and moved to Oklahoma after his wife passed away from breast cancer. But I'm wanting to go out there, and there's a bunch of logging roads all the way down the gravel road that cut into the Mark Twain National Forest. I'm thinking if we split up into teams and we explore different roads, we might find something. I mean, even if it's some tree structures, I'd be happy. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing good out there, and hopefully you guys are doing better than myself. I'm just blessed to be out here. I'm blessed to see the sun come up and go down every day, to see the birds, the wildlife, and I'm just thankful for what I got. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to camp, talk with the guys, and come up with a game plan, and we'll see what we can do. But I guess the show must go on, right? I appreciate every single one of you for supporting the channel and putting up with my negative attitude. I don't mean to be negative, but it seems like the more I try to stay positive, the more negative I become. Like I said earlier, the more you try, and there's just no results. But what can you do, right? You just got to keep pushing through. But yeah, we'll see what we can conjure up, guys. The hairy people are out there, and they don't want to be found. So we're gonna do just that. We're gonna go out there and hopefully find something. Maybe 5 years from now, 10 years from now, but it's gonna happen. Maybe not today, but one of these days, we're gonna find these things and get them on film. What do you guys want to see from the channel? What do you guys like to view the most on Sasquatch Theory? Do you enjoy the campouts that I do when I go exploring for Bigfoot? Do you like the nighttime investigations? Do you prefer the podcast? Do you like a mix of everything? What do you guys like to see? All right, so just walking past where my tent was set up at. I'm pretty darn sure the pizza box is right here. We had a Little Caesars Meat Lovers Pizza sitting right there. And whenever I came and checked it yesterday, I don't think I filmed it, but see, there's a part of the pizza, but half the pizza was flipped out of the box and it wasn't torn into. It's just like something picked up half of it and took it out of the box. But we're going back in here to retrieve the audio recorders, and the whole box is missing. The pizza's missing. I mean, I don't think a possum or a raccoon would take the box. Like, they'd just tear into it. You know what I mean?
Even if they did drag it, it would not be far.
Yeah. Yeah, so where's the pizza box? There is one clue, which is this right here. What do you think, man? I heard something whenever I was falling asleep. It sounded like a ruckus over here and some strange sounds, but I was just like, I'm going to bed. I don't care. I gotta sleep. Because I'd already tried going to sleep for like an hour before that, and Mike and Bill were snoring so loud. And it wasn't that consistent snore, just like it would get quieter, and then once you think it died down, you'd hear I was like, ah! Yeah, it was horrible. God bless them, but if I didn't sleep, I was gonna go crazy. Like, that's my only time of peace during the day, you know, is when you go to bed, and it's like, if that gets taken away,
And then when you're doing this, it's not a very big window.
Yeah.
You stay up late and you get up early.
Yeah, just keep an eye out for the pizza box. I mean, what are we gonna do if we find it? Then we know it's something. Or we see a Sasquatch holding a little Caesar's box. Think about that for a commercial. Be like, we will sell this to Little Caesars for $100,000. That's cheap. They're holding your pizza. They'll make a new Bigfoot Caesar's pizza.
Big and hairy.
This one's called the Squeecher. Little Squeechers. Yeah, I'm still interested in seeing that thermal footage that you got. You'll have to blow it up and kind of zoom in. I don't know, maybe slow it down. Because I think I was wearing a hoodie, so if you notice like a hoodie, it'll be me. Or like a hat, you know what I mean? Then you'll know. But if...
Before you run off, we need to throw all that on an SD card.
I mean, you can send it through Facebook. Just hit the share button on the stream too. Yeah. I came in here last night, but I didn't want to go much further past this. Ooh, thought I saw a snake. It's a real pretty area. I'm sure there's giant bucks in here. I mean, this is the type of habitat that they like. There are a lot of tree breaks in here. I've noticed that. Well, I didn't realize we put the audio recorder this far back.
Trying to get it away from it being contaminated.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's good. I was worried about that possibly it was too close to everybody. That's good. Do you want the audio? You can copy it onto your computer if you want. What do you think, Adam?
It doesn't matter really.
Okay. All right. Maybe we didn't get any audio. I always have bad luck with setting them up. It was on, said battery low. Shouldn't be on, it should have turned off. That's weird. I mean, I don't know. I always have bad luck with audio.
Magic Shack.
It's probably worth money, man. Pretty rough in here. Some bottled water if you want some. Yep, that big X is still there. Drive a little bit forward. Yep. It was solid too.
see what else we can find. All right, so Adam and I drove out to the Mark Twain National Forest, and we're out here where our buddy Bill had Bigfoot encounters in the past, where I recorded some really awesome audio. And yeah, I found some tree structures down in here. But we're coming back to visit the area. Like I said before, Bill doesn't live out here anymore. He moved to Oklahoma. But we just wanted to see if there's anything new and what we can experience out here. I almost went home earlier. We've been out here for days. I haven't showered, haven't slept very well. Been feeling pretty rough, but figured we couldn't give up. We got to keep trucking through, and if I go home, that's it. That's the end of the video. And I don't know. I'm just hoping we can find something else. Maybe we can see one of these things. Get them on film. What do you got going on here, buddy?
Just getting this bag here ready.
Okay.
Make sure I got plenty of batteries. My cards are cleaned. I don't know if I'm gonna need a thermal, but just in case.
Yeah, bring it. Yeah, I got all my gear. Oh, right there. Yeah. Not sure if that was there before, but it's the right height.
Big holler.
Yeah. I've walked down there. It gets really rocky. That's kind of weird right there. Not sure how that tree got up there. Huh. Yeah, that is a little weird. Not sure how that tree got up there like that. It definitely looks like it fell across an existing tree, but the butt end is up in the air. There's a little arch over here too. Not really sure.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Those aren't touching. It looks like it, but there's not much going on there. Yeah, it could have been an acorn. The wind was blowing, but it sounded like a little knock. I just did a whoop, so who knows. We need these things to reveal themselves.
Blackberry.
Yeah.
They're here in July and August.
What's the plan now?
Go get some grub.
Yeah.
Some bite to eat. Try to recharge the battery a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I got 0 battery left. Struggling.
You're going hard, brother. You're going hard.
I guess. I think just being outside will drain you.
You didn't get much sleep last night.
No.
I went to sleep before you, and when I got up, I was like, it took me a good 40 minutes to get moving.
Yeah, I'm struggling.
Drained. Can't imagine you got less sleep than I did.
Yeah. I'm mentally, physically, and spiritually drained. Hoping for a miracle, man. Maybe it'll show up to my house.
underneath your bed.
Yeah.
Just like it was when we was kids.
I would accept that and make amends if it happened.